And welcome to Weather and Ag in Focus. I'm meteorologist Dean Wysocki, along with our wonderful, talented Ag Director Bridgette Readel and meteorologist Justin Storm.
There he is. There's his noise.
And speaking of storms,
what do you got?
there's a little bit on radar. That's right. Not here in the FM area, but just out to the west, Carrington and points westward. Seeing some moderate rain showers right now. Also some rain showers stretching just to the west of the FM area. It's about Valley City through about Morton. Some lighter rain showers, light rain around the Lisbon area. So the heavier rain is going to fall to the north of the FM area from about Cooperstown through about Hillsboro, it looks like. Might make it up towards the Grand Forks area. But kind of between Fargo and Grand Forks, we'll see the heavier shower activity. Nothing heavy, but some moderate rainfall out to our west. The rest of us just seeing some scattered showers as we head through the afternoon. So if you're heading out, grab the umbrella. And in some of that rain-cooled air out to our west, temperatures are only in the 50s.
It is brisk. So I was out in the field literally this morning with one of our Here We Grow sponsors, Ellingson Drain Tile, who it was fortunate. We were very fortunate to be able to work in their yard, but when the sun came out, that helped a lot. Otherwise, it was a little brisk to get the day started.
It feels like, I hate to use that F word.
I know.
It feels like fall.
No, it should not. It's still summer. And you believe it or not, I mean, I'm a golf skirt kind of girl. I actually had to wear pants today. So it was a big day that it was that chilly. I'm wearing pants.
And we might even here in the FM area be hard-pressed to get to 70 today. It'll be close, but I think we're going to be stuck in the 60s all day. Oh, man. But there is light at the end of the tunnel, right, Justin?
There is always light at the end of the tunnel.
Sometimes it's a train coming at us.
No.
Sometimes that's the light. But it's
That sounds like a horrible plan.
Hope it's not a small tunnel.
Yeah, right.
Step aside. Step aside. Okay, so what's the light at the end of the tunnel?
There is warmer. If you're a fan of the summer heat, we'll get a little taste of it late this week before cooler weather settles in for the weekend. And then next week, by the middle and especially end of next week, there's a big heat ridge out to the west, and it's going to slowly try and build into the area. So I think we will see some more summer heat. By summer heat, 80s and 90s come back into the forecast. Starting late next week and probably lasting through the end of the month, if not a little longer, but there will be breaks in it. It won't be a constant, stretch of hot, dry weather by any means. So, but again, if you're just a fan of summer heat, that is coming back. So that's good news there.
That's the best thing, right?
It's
there.
July. I mean, come on. Once
And if you're not a fan of the heat,
then
I'm
enjoy
not.
this week.
Take it while you can.
Yeah.
will do.
I don't love the heat, but I also realize that this is vitally important to what's going on in field right now. That's going to help us tremendously.
It is. And, even though today's rain, not a lot of rain, although, again, areas out to our west, just as I said earlier, Cooperstown, Carrington, just north of Jamestown, those areas could pick up quarter, half inch.
Oh.
Not out of the question,
Okay.
but I think the majority of us about a 1/10 inch or less,
So
at least
this
from the FM area southward.
This is sort of just in the way.
A little bit.
I might not have to water my flower baskets today, but
Yeah.
everything else,
I don't see us getting a whole lot in the FM area. I think the majority of it's just to our north.
Justin, if I go to our soybean field today, I will not be walking nearly as much mud as you and Farmer Jim did when you were out there a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I was getting taller with every step I took.
Oh, if that's the case,
Yeah,
I'll be
it
out there
was-
all
it was
day.
really
Yeah,
muddy.
right.
I'd like to hit 5'8" at some point in my life, and the only way I'm doing it right now is if I'm standing on the steps above someone.
Or boots.
Don't talk about my boots that
Some
way.
big boots.
So we've got that kind of a cooler than normal week, at least for the first half of the week before we start to warm things up. A few chances for storms, but just in general over the next 5 to 7 days, total precip quarter inch, some spots a half inch. So nothing widespread. It'll be kind of inconsistent. Some areas get a little more, some quite a bit less. So
All right.
hopefully if you're in some of the areas that need more moisture, hopefully you end up getting this over the next 5 days because it doesn't look like a lot next week.
And more
Right, I
heat.
got a question for you, Bridgette.
Got
the
it.
stage
What's up?
that we're at in growing between corn, beans, grains, I'm sure it's going to differ a little bit based on crop, but what's more important right now at this point in the year? Is it summer heat, warmth? I'm not talking, excessive heat, but,
Sure.
good warm days, or the moisture?
Boy,
Because I know we just had a decent amount of rain recently, a couple weeks ago, but
that is
what comes more important right now?
that is a great question, because you're right. It is crop dependent. So where are you at with the wheat crop? Right now, we've seen a lot of folks that are quickly approaching harvest. So they probably don't want to see a lot of moisture happening, as they want to see that grain ripen. Whereas our corn and soybean growers are happy to continue to see rain, as they want to continue to put on bushels for yield. So it's going to have some variability to it. I think our sugar beet guys are still looking for a little bit of rain. If I can speak to some of those specialty crops like peas and so forth, just use the analogy of the peas in your garden. The way the weather has been warm early on, they're probably shorter than usual, starting to flower. Mine got a good soaking watering on Sunday, and they started to rebloom. So those are the things that we're going to see crop dependent wise, right? Different cycles and stages of them will do different things for each crop.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's nice to have a little break in the heat then and get a few showers here or there around the area.
Okay, as a kid who grew up in South Central North Dakota, my peers here in the Red River Valley may hate me for this, but I grew up in a time frame and it was always dry, and I mean always dry. So for me, anytime it rains, I'm thrilled. No, I don't say I need a 5-inch downpour, but I'm happy to see rain.
Yeah, I could use a little more for the yard. We picked up a half-inch, what was that? Saturday night, I think we picked up a half-inch in Grand Forks, and that was really needed. The grass was starting to get a little sad, and it perked right back up.
Well, this Red River Valley clay, where we were at today with Ellingson Drainage, there were cracks in their grass, because we've got that clay with such good water holding capacity. As it dries out, they started to crack open, even in their lawn.
Wow.
So you can tell that they'll take more moisture in a lot of places. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about today's shoot that we had out there.
We had a great time. We got to go look at a tile plow, so I can say I got plowed. Then we
You got plowed out in the field too.
That's right.
All right.
Hey, way to go. Kudos.
And one thing that our camera guy was with me today, and he says, when you guys talk about tile, I think about bathroom tile, patio tile, not the flexible plastic tubing that's actually going into the ground for us to use for tile drainage. And it's not just about in field. They do tons of projects up and down the valley. So it's pretty tremendous, the work that they do. And we looked at that tubing, as well as sometimes in a sandier ground, it has a biodegradable sock on it. And I don't want to give away everything, but we learned a lot talking to the folks at Ellingson today. It was great. So appreciate being out there and enjoying it.
We'll be looking forward to that. That episode will be coming out on
Friday.
This Friday. So be watching for that. And if you haven't been following along with the Here We Grow series, that's where we're growing 20 acres of soybeans. Follow us on Facebook or YouTube. Just search Weather and Ag in Focus. Here We Grow. And you got episodes 1 through 11. And I'd say probably about 20 shorts that are all about our project so far. And we've seen a couple of curveballs. So a few interesting things have happened.
Just a couple.
We really have. And we want folks to watch all the videos in order to understand everything that's been going on, right? Don't just pick one. And you got to see everything in context, I think. That'll be important. So, and the fun will be, there's going to be a couple of weeks here where I'm not going to be around and you guys are on your own. I'll set them up and you guys get to ask all the questions.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah. In fact, we're going to spend...
we were talking about trains earlier. We'll see how well that train wrecks.
I would say that you guys are going to have a lot of fun with where in the world is Bridgette in the next couple of weeks, because it's going to be a lot of places.
And don't forget, we will be down at the towards the end of the month, last Thursday of the month.
Yes.
We'll be down in Baltic.
We will. We'll be at Baltic, South Dakota with Hefty Seed Company's Ag PhD Field Day. We were there last year. We look forward to broadcasting live. And I'm waiting for some details. I think I'm going to be one of their speakers along with another YouTube and TikTok farmer, and we'll have a discussion on tillage. But I need some details from my contact at Hefty to know what I'm saying. So... yeah, and so if you're curious...
You can wing it.
Well, if you guys are curious...
Yeah, we do that every day.
Who's the person I might be with? Well, you're going to have to pay attention. We'll give that away as it gets closer.
Oh.
He's well followed. A lot of folks know him up here. So that'll be fun.
You're such a tease.
That's what I was told.
Out in the field?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're out there while you can.
It's been quite the day. This is why we keep booze in the office.
Yeah.
So, okay, what I am not going to tease about, though, is one of our headlines today, and that is for farmers who have had trouble with wheat stem sawfly in their fields. It's a pest that we see. It'll often literally saw off the top head of, say, barley or wheat, and that head then turns white because it's literally dead on the top of the plant. And research is being done through University of Nebraska-Lincoln as well as North Dakota State. They want to ask questions of farmers who have had that going on in their field. They're working with the USDA's Ag Research Service. So if you are a farmer who has wheat, you have experienced damage from wheat stem sawfly, there is a link for an online survey. And if you want to email me, ag@flagfamily.com, I will share that link with you rather than try to repeat a lot of, there's so many letters and numbers here. It's like longitude and latitude. So just email me, ag@flagfamily, and I will share with you that link so that you can get hooked up with them.
Cool. And we have a special guest today coming on.
We do. Speaking of catching up with people, Claire Smith. She is with Teff Ancient Grains in Michigan. And Dean was reading the article about Claire and her family. What generation farm are they?
Seventh generation
out of
That's
Michigan.
Awesome.
Wow.
Yes.
That
I
is
think
awesome.
we're going to get Claire in queue with us so we get to ask her questions about what's an ancient grain. Did they just have it in the bin that long? Bet that's not it. So we'll find out in just a few moments when Claire joins us. So don't go away.
You know the voice.
I signed name Dale with some bogus age. I didn't know anybody still used AOL.
Me neither. Yeah.
I kind of have an idea. I'm pretty sure I know who this is.
Probably knows Tom from MySpace.
Yeah.
The Jay Thomas Show, weekdays at 2 on 970 AM and 93.1 FM, WDAY Radio.
Boost your crop's health with Domark 230 ME and Badge SC fungicide exclusively from Gowan, USA. Domark's systematic action teams up with Badge's outstanding mixing properties for unbeaten disease control on sugar beets, dried edible beans, and canola. Experience the power of two different modes of action with Domark and Badge. Don't wait. Contact your local ag retailer and ask about Domark 230 ME and Badge SC. Always read and follow label directions from Gowan, USA.
It's about tradition, values, and family ties. Pucklet Chevrolet GMC's tradition of giving back to our community remains a priority, and that's why we've partnered with many local nonprofit organizations and events. And our tradition of giving this community a fair and honest offer continues. Right now, you can save over $6,000 on select new Chevy Silverado 1500s. We're Pucklet Chevrolet GMC in Valley City. Tradition, values, and family ties.
See dealer for details.
If you're looking for land or a specific piece of equipment for your farm, ranch, or construction site, add steffesgroup.com to your list of favorites. You'll find all their upcoming auctions in your area and nationwide, both live on site and timed online. Like their bi-monthly timed online auctions featuring equipment from all of their upper Midwest locations. And if you have equipment to sell, check out the deadline to consign for their next bi-monthly online auction. Go to steffesgroup.com today and get in on the action of an auction anytime, day or night. That's steffesgroup.com, STEFFES group.com.
Looking for a rewarding career in healthcare with excellent benefits? Help enrich the lives of the men and women who served our country by joining the North Dakota Veterans Home family. Whether you're a registered nurse, certified nurse's assistant, medication technician, or have a background in administration or maintenance, visit ndvh.nd.gov to learn more about career opportunities today.
Sponsored by the North Dakota Cares Coalition in cooperation with the North Dakota Broadcasters Association and this station.
Mike Lindell has a passion to help everyone get the best sleep. He didn't stop by simply creating the best pillow. Mike created the Giza Dream Bed Sheets. They look and feel great, which means an even better night's sleep for me, which is crucial for my busy schedule. Mike found the world's best cotton called Giza. Ultra soft, breathable, but extremely durable. Mike's Giza Sheets, they come with a 60-day money-back guarantee and about a 10-year warranty. Giza Dream Sheets come in a variety of sizes and colors. Mike's latest incredible deal is the Sale of the year. For a limited time, you're going to receive 50% off the Giza Dream Sheets. You will receive a set for as low as $29.98. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio podcast square, and use promo code WDAY. There you'll find not only this amazing offer, but also deep discounts on all MyPillow products, including MyPillow 2.0 mattress topper, MyPillow towel sets, and so much more. Call 1-800-875-0644. Use promo code WDAY. Go to MyPillow.com, promo code WDAY.
You're invited to worship with us at Olivet Lutheran Church in Fargo. We offer a 9 a.m. Sunday traditional service with communion where all are welcome to participate. If you can't worship with us in person, you can always watch live or later on our YouTube channel. Following worship, we have time for fellowship with coffee and donuts and light service projects like packing up food for our food pantry. For more information, go to olivet.org. Encounter Jesus, experience grace at Olivet Lutheran Church on the corner of 13th Avenue and South University Drive, Fargo.
And welcome back to Weather and Ag in Focus here on WDAY. Thank you, Chief Meteorologist Dean Wysocki, for turning on my mic. I would imagine all
it's not so easy, Dean.
I think it's because of all the comments I made in the first segment. He's like, we're going to shut her up. So there we go. All right. Myself, Dean is here as meteorologist, and Justin Storm. Are you on this?
Hold on. There we go.
Oh, we got the right one.
There we go.
Tuesday.
Oh, it's so good to have everybody sort of together. Mostly got it together.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if we have it together, but we're together.
All right. And it gets better because we do indeed have with us our guest today, and that is Claire Smith. Claire is with Teff Ancient Grains in Michigan. Boy, I hope I said that all right. So, Claire, would you care to please introduce yourself to our listeners today? Or
did we lose Claire?
Might have lost Claire.
Okay.
That's okay.
Have Claire call in then,
sad.
Jacob. Yeah.
It's all right. The guys will get it fixed, and we'll get that all set. Again, Claire, 7th generation farmer from Michigan, and not Michigan, North Dakota, for those of you who are wondering. This is actually the state of Michigan. And I'm looking forward to asking her about the things that they do on Maple Drive Farms is the name of their farm. And all of that goes on over there. So we'll get Claire back up. Justin, do you want to spin the roulette wheel of what ag topic you want me to talk about?
Oh, yeah, let's spin. That's what we need.
We need a roulette wheel. Yeah, man.
Sorry, I'm back.
Oh, there's Claire.
Welcome.
Sweet. That's awesome.
I'm sorry. I had a little bit of a struggle moment with internet over here in the flyover state of Michigan. So I apologize for that. We're back now.
We'd make fun of that, except it happens to us all the time. So let's not even begin to complain about it.
8 times a week.
Oh, good.
Claire Smith, it is fabulous to visit with you. Tell us more about you, your farm, what you're doing.
Yeah, of course. And first of all, thank you so much for having me on. I'm so excited my story with all of your listeners. So I am Claire. I'm the third of 7 kids, and we were raised on a 7th generation family farm in southern Michigan. So the farm started in 1837, which is actually the first year that Michigan became a state, which is one of my favorite fun facts. And then through the years, we've gone from, farming for sustenance to dairy to row crops. And now we're really exploring these specialty grains. So when I was growing up, my grandfather was running the farm doing corn, wheat, soybeans, and, the odd alfalfa field for some of the cows. But now in, 2015, my dad started to explore these specialty grains. And a lot has come from that exploration, which I know we're definitely going to talk about. Yeah. And it's just been such an incredible journey going from, growing grain for feed to growing grain for food, which is, even though it's only one vowel difference, there's a pretty big difference in how you handle it and all of that. So, of course, from the grains that we're growing emerged my company, which is called Teffola. And so we create granola and snacks using the grains that we grow, clean, and process right on our farm.
Holy cow, guys.
That's awesome.
All right, where do you want to start? Dean, are you in on this first or me?
Go ahead.
Okay.
I've got a couple, but I'll let you go first.
Where did you start to make that transition? What was the decision that we're going from feed to food, as you called it, Claire? How did the farm make that choice?
So it was really the outside forces. So inputs were rising. So your fertilizer, your like all of those inputs, labor was rising, everything was rising, and we weren't able to control the price. So we sell our grain, like we are cash crops, these are commodities. So you're selling them into the market, and so you don't have any control over price, except for, when do you hit sell, and when do you take the truck to the or to the elevator. And so that coupled with just this nagging feeling of, how are we going to make sure that the farm can last not just 7 more generations, but just 1 more generation? Like, it was on this trajectory of where I think a lot of family farms are right now, of we've been doing the same thing and it's been working, but now it's not working as well as it used to. And so we were approached by a family friend of ours as my dad is kind of mulling around these problems. And our family friend works in agriculture in East Africa. And he said, there's this ancient grain called Teff, and it's gluten-free, and there's a huge Ethiopian community of expats in the States. Why don't you try growing Teff and just sell to the Ethiopians and Eritrean communities? And that can be, just something else that you try doing. And so we did that. We tried that for our first year. And since then, maybe due to my ridiculous enthusiasm and mindset of I can do anything I want.
I like your mindset
for sure.
I'm okay with that.
So yeah, we've expanded from just growing teff, which is native to Ethiopia, to now growing a bunch of different specialty grains, and now we've also gotten into processing. And so I know we'll talk about that. So I'll let the next question come in.
So Claire, I've got a question. So teff, is that native to Ethiopia?
Yep. So I've got a little jar here. I don't know if your camera can see it, but it's tiny little, it's about half the size of a poppy seed. So it's the smallest grain in the world, native to Ethiopia and Eritrea. And they mill it into a flour and then make injera with it, which is their traditional bread. So it's like a fermented flatbread, if you want to call it. So it's got this sour taste, and it's super flavorful, loads of protein, fiber, calcium, iron, all those good things. So it's really, really healthy.
Now, I'm guessing since it's native to Ethiopia, it's probably drought resistant, correct?
Yeah, it loves dry weather. Okay. And Michigan, normally, like in Indiana, right now it would be great if we were in Indiana. But, Michigan is pretty humid, and it doesn't love Michigan weather. It tolerates it, but it doesn't love it.
Okay.
As much as we would like it to.
Right. And do you know how many other farms across the country are growing teff? Are you one of the few?
Well, we're one of the few growing it for food. Lots of people are growing it for forage. Oddly enough, horses and alpaca and llamas love teff hay because it's super high in protein, and like we're able to get a premium on that. But we're one of the very few people growing it for the actual grain. We've been in contact with a handful of them. There's a group of growers out in Idaho, and then one other guy down in Nevada. But as far as I know, we are the first people and only people east of the Mississippi growing it for grain. So it's a little bit of an unusual crop over here.
Sure sounds like it. Well, if you got any questions you want to call in, again, we're speaking with Claire Smith from Teff Ancient Grains, Maple Drive Farms over in Michigan. Feel free to give us a call on the Red Wing Shoes phone line. That's 701-293-9000, or you can email us at weatherorag@flagfamily.com. We're going to take bottom of the hour break here, and when we come back, we'll rejoin our conversation with Claire Smith. We'll learn more about these ancient grains and whatever else she's got going on over there in Michigan. So stay tuned. Weather and Ag in Focus. We'll be right back.
Hello, Fargo. This is John Adams, your host of Talk of the Town. My show is designed to highlight everything great about the city, the valley, and the country in which we live. I've had the great fortune of meeting, working, and living with wonderful people in the Fargo-Moorhead area, and I want to bring their stories to you. Human interest stories, sports, timely topics that affect all of us in the Red River Valley. Talk of the Town with John Adams. Tune in for positivity and fun.
Keep your cool while the kids are out of school. Get a Kingpin Summer Bowling Pass and enjoy unlimited daytime bowling all summer break. Kingpins features hyper bowling, a new way to play. Hit the lights, earn multipliers, and score thousands of points. The kids, the family will love it. A summer bowling pass at Kingpins is just $30 per person. A summer of fun for everyone at Kingpins. Head to kingpins.com for more info or come and play for yourself. Find them at 3485 Jacks Way, South in Fargo. And it's time for the ultimate taco bar for lunch at Barron's. It's all-you-can-eat taco bar Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. for only $10.99. Kingpin Summer Bowling Pass and all-you-can-eat taco bar at Barron's. This is the summer we were looking for.
Hyperbaric oxygen treatment is here now. It can show improvements inside and outside your body. It can affect the aging of blood cells. It can help you repair skin, smooth fine lines and wrinkles. This treatment can help you feel younger by providing your muscles and joints with more oxygen and improved circulation. Find out what it can do for you at SwansonHyperbarics.com. SwansonHyperbarics.com. Call for an appointment 929-3930, 25th Street, Fargo. SwansonHyperbarics.com.
Hey, Ronnie, grilling season finally here this weekend. I'm going to sit on my deck with a cold beer and watch Alex grill some meat.
Speaking of meat, Jay, our great friends from Meats by John and Wayne will be giving away a meat bundle this Thursday on your show. All you have to do is listen for the call-in song. Cheeseburger in paradise. And be the 9th caller.
Ronnie, there's a reason those guys have been voted best butcher shop in the Red River Valley since 2016. Meats by John and Wayne. All your meat needs.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Freshness made easy with Febreze Small Spaces.
Want continuous freshness that fights odors with no batteries and no outlets? Try Febreze Small Spaces. Ah, but what's a small space? To answer that, we brought in our lawyer.
Small spaces include, but are not limited to, bathrooms, closets, laundry room, kid room, pet corners, man cave, shoe sheds, most nooks, and all crannies.
There you go. Febreze Small Spaces is the world's most convenient. Febreze Small Spaces is super convenient and never stops freshening for 45 days.
Mm-hmm. Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Yeah, I'm so stressed. Our business is growing. We've got people all over now.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 50 features.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Find small business calm at ooma.com/radio. That's OOMA.com/radio.
Thank you for joining us here on WDAY Weather and Ag in Focus. I'm Bridgette, Readel, Ag Director, along with meteorologist Justin Storm. Okay, we're not going to get the thunder and lightning this time. Got it. And wait for it. There it is. And then Chief Meteorologist Dean Wysocki. And thank you to sponsors who are part of our Here We Grow project, where we're raising 20 acres of soybeans on a custom basis. And then our profit is going to be donated to the Great Plains Food Bank. And two of those sponsors are Titan Machinery. They are one of our local equipment dealers. They do a fabulous job of providing red equipment to a lot of places. Everybody likes a good red machine. And then additionally, Invita. And Invita is a weatherproof nitrogen from AB Seeds. When nitrogen is lost to the environment through leaching, denitrification, volatility, etc., Envita is there to deliver nitrogen where and when it's needed all season long. That leads us to our discussion with our guest today. That is Claire Smith of Teff Ancient Grains in Michigan. Claire, we've just been talking about the fact that you have this grain that's not native to the U.S., but it is making quite an impact due to, as you said, gluten-free, high in protein, etc. My big question is, you showed us how tiny the seeds are. How do those get processed into the granola? Because when I looked at your packaging for granola, it almost looks like much bigger clusters. How do you clean it? How do you package that? What's going on to make that thing a reality on your farm?
So the grain form that we use is the whole grain, and there's very little processing that we're actually doing to the teff itself.
Okay.
So you're not able to, like, there's no hull or anything that you take off of the teff like there is with buckwheat or millet. And so when we add the teff to the granola, we're literally just taking it and there's very little processing. We're just cleaning it. So cleaning is really difficult because when you pick up the teff off the field, you're also picking up a lot of other things like little bits of dirt and weed seeds and tiny, tiny stones. And so we built this gluten-free facility that is now actually, as of like just last week, is certified organic. And so we're able to put it through all of our equipment and clean it to a really high purity rate. So we're separating the stones out, the weed seeds, and because teff is so small, it's a really tough job. So we're separating it based on density, size, and shape. So it's like a three-step, actually it's closer to like a 4-step process, but it's been a long journey to figuring out exactly what equipment we need to make sure that we have really clean product, but then also we're processing buckwheat as well. So once I made this granola recipe, I was using buckwheat groats, and I knew that they could be grown in Michigan, but we didn't grow them because we were just growing teff, and that was already new enough for our family. But then I casually approached my dad and said, "Hey, buckwheat." And so he started growing buckwheat, and now we process buckwheat as well.
Every time I hear buckwheat, I just think of Eddie Murphy's skit on Saturday Night Live from back in the day.
Oh, goodness. That is going to take us back a little bit. Claire, as the agriculturalist in me wants to ask, what do you have for pests? Do you have a problem with weed control or insects or anything like that in the teff as you're raising it through the season?
So most of our problems stem from weeds. If you don't get a good stand pretty much right off the bat, you're really going to get a field overrun with weeds. And specifically, we really struggle with foxtail. And these weeds just get really, really aggressive, and they take over the whole field pretty quickly because the teff is pretty gentle. Like it's not super strong like foxtail and some thistle and all of that. And there's pretty much nothing labeled for teff once it comes to weed control. So it's been hard to find the right preparation, like field prep. Like how do we make sure that the field is ready to seed? And then of course combining in your weather factors and all of that. So that's been tough. We don't have a problem with pests as much in the field. For us, it's more of the concern is once we get into storage and making sure that there are no grain mites or any other little critters. So you have to just make sure that your storage is secure and well ventilated and, normal grain storage problems that every farmer has.
And Claire, go ahead, Justin.
I was going to say, since we're on that line, what about disease and different funguses? Since it's not native here, does it have to worry too much about that, or is it kind of susceptible like any other crop?
We haven't seen very many, and I guess we've been trying some different varieties, but we haven't seen too much mold or anything. We haven't seen much of it. For us, again, just the biggest problem is weeds. And so that's been more than we can handle. So if there were another disease out there, I think our ego would take a beating, that's for sure.
Oh no.
Yeah. Hey, Claire, we've got an email question asking, what challenges do you have in having this ancient grain coming into the States, like transitioning this from Ethiopia over to the States?
That's a good question. For us, I think it's more, I guess I'll speak in broader terms, transitioning our farm from this, feed to more of a food. For us, we thought Teff would become the big thing for our farm, and selling to all these Ethiopian expats, etc. But for us, it was more the stepping stone to something bigger. And so, like, as I mentioned before, Michigan's not the absolute best place to grow teff, but it is something that I've built. I've built a product line using teff, and so we'll always grow enough for me and for any other spot buys. But for us now, the bigger market that we're seeing is, buckwheat and millet and oats, and figuring out that processing. Through this experience, I've learned so much about gluten-free and the supply chain and infrastructure, and how much of a crisis we are headed towards with very little infrastructure for that certification. So for us, it's been, okay, so like, here's teff, like, let's experiment with teff. And then, actually this opened up a whole problem for the industry that we might be able to help solve. And so that's been a challenge. It was a challenge to, I almost want to say, like, ask the right questions of what are the problems out there. And growing teff helped us get to the right question. And now we're starting to answer that question.
Sure.
So I think that has been a challenge. And now, this is our 8th growing season of teff. So we're really starting to get familiar with that. And with the processing facility, we're really starting to get that going as well.
So with the teff and turning it into these different granolas and other products with the other grains and whatnot, are you doing the marketing on this as well?
Yep. So I do the kind of sales and marketing outreach for the farm. And then we also are doing a lot of marketing around the teff and regenerative agriculture and all that on our website and social media. And you can see our social media here.
Yes, we can.
So we do a lot of education around what are ancient grains. This is what a farm is. And, these are, I think, giving people kind of a look into what farming in 2023 actually looks like. It's not chewing on straw and wearing a hat, or, it's not, sometimes it is that, but that's not always it. There's a lot of technology involved. There's a lot of strategy and testing and soil samples and, so educating customers and people about, what is soil health? Why is it important? Why should you care about it? And how can your purchasing decisions lead to healthier soil? So that's been really fun for me. Another challenge for sure, but really fun.
So that was going to be the question I was going to ask, was how do you relay this information to the general public? And I got another one, but Dean, I'll let you sneak in here first.
No, that's okay.
Did you want me to answer how we educate? Okay, so a lot of it. Okay, so we do a lot of our email strategy is all about mixing in stories about the founding of the company, because people love to hear storytelling in that way. And so I get to tell the story of, in 1837, Azariel and Mary Smith arrived here. And so I get to tell the story of the family, which intrigues people. And then I talk about the story of transitioning and the reasons behind the transition. It wasn't just we woke up one day and wanted to build a very expensive building just because we wanted to, but there's thought and intention behind it. So we tell a lot of stories, and then we're also sneaking in, if you will, definitions. Like, this is what regenerative agriculture is. This is, why soil health is important. So blog posts, social media, but a lot of it comes down to our email and website, and being like as concise and simple as possible about a fairly complex topic.
Right. And have you seen general public, the audience, picking up on that information? I mean, trying to go and selling something new that's not really say a normal crop grown here in the United States. Have you seen things going in the right direction since years 1 and 2 to your 7th and 8th growing season of Teff, and what you're turning it into for a food supply?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think with more people talking about soil health and climate change, and just more people being interested in the environment. I mean, there's this amazing stat out there from Nielsen that says that 60% of Americans are in this sustainable mainstream category. Like, so they want to shop more sustainably, and they're looking for added benefits like health and wellness and all of that. So there's this larger trend going on where younger generations are really making mindful choices around what they're buying with the environment in mind. So they're looking for companies that align with their values. And, you know, it's nice to be able to share the story of this is where your food is coming from. Mm-hmm. It's not, you know, that we, you know, buy everything from an ingredient supplier, and like there's story and heart behind it, which is definitely resonating with customers, especially because we've had customers with us for an extremely long time. And so they've seen this whole journey and they tell their friends about it. And I mean, yeah, I've had, you know, Google alerts set up on Teff from the very beginning, and there's just so much more chatter in the, you know, internet about Teff and ancient grains and regenerative agriculture than there was even a year ago. So there's definitely more interest as people are eating healthier and looking for different ways to connect to their food.
And Claire, on your Teff products, are they only sold on your website, or are they in any stores across the nation?
So we're in a handful of stores across the Midwest. So we have 2 product lines, Teffola, which is Teff granola with buckwheat and oats and nuts and seeds. And then we also launched Teffola Bites, which is Teffola on the go. And in a wonderful problem sort of way, we sold out of our Teffola Bites in a month.
Sweet.
Which was not what I expected to happen.
But yet
so
thrilling,
we are working
right?
on getting more.
Yeah.
Yes, super, super exciting.
And
but
are they all
slightly stressful?
Are they all produced in Michigan there, at your place?
Yes.
Okay.
So not at our farm. We aren't ready for that type of intensity, but I make it somewhere else.
Okay.
So,
now,
yeah.
so I've got, and this might be off the wall, and maybe you've thought about this, but this is a product I think could explode if she could present this to Shark Tank. I mean, have you thought about that?
Find a venture capitalist firm.
This is really something I think that could really take off quick.
Yeah. With all the focus on gluten-free, high proteins.
Right?
Yes.
Have you thought about that, Claire?
Yes, and I did apply to Shark Tank ages ago. So there are 40,000 applications for Shark Tank, and I want to say 13 spots. So unfortunately, we did not make it. But and not to get too super businessy, but we were fundraising, and that was, I mean, it's a much bigger conversation, but the landscape for fundraising right now is extremely challenging.
Sure,
so we're sticking with where we are for right now. And I mean, I would always encourage people to go to our website or Amazon. And in another horrible twist of fate, we're actually sold out at this moment. And so of like all products. So anyway, check back in 2 weeks and we'll have more products.
I'm gonna try. I want to try out those Tefla Bites.
I kind of want to do too.
That looks good.
Oh, so Claire, we cannot thank you enough for joining us today. Again, this is Claire Smith, Teff Ancient Grains. She's in Michigan. Claire, one last shout out. Where would you like people to find you, whether your website or social media?
Yeah, so our website is eatteffola.com, EATTEFFOLA, and our Instagram is at eatteffola as well. And I would love for anyone who is at all interested in this to sign up for our emails. We have discount codes, exclusive offers, all sorts of fun things in there. So you can see me an email or, on Instagram.
We had Mr. Wonderful in the studio about a month ago, and I wish we
we
would
would've
have known about this. We could have. I kind of pushed it on him.
Dean's your new pitch agent, Claire.
I'm marketing for this
him
product.
I love it. I'll send you some products so you can casually send it to his people.
There you
I'll
go.
send you some samples.
That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome.
Thank you so very much for joining us, Claire. We greatly appreciate it. Folks, we are listening to the American Ag Network. Don't go anywhere. We will be back to update you on weather and any ag topics right after this.
No matter what you have planned this summer, Luther Family Buick GMC can get you there in style. Head to the lakes or your favorite campground in the new GMC Sierra 1500 with rates as low as 0.9%. Explore the Badlands in one of our diverse Buick SUV models with available 2.49% financing. Stop in today and let us help you hit the road to a summer filled with adventure at Luther Family Buick GMC, corner of I-29 and 32nd Avenue South, Fargo. We are professional grade.
You won't want to miss this year's Ag PhD Field Day with guided tours of our extensive research plots, world premieres of the latest ag technologies, the highest yielding farmers on the planet, and more equipment running than ever before. The Ag PhD Field Day just keeps getting bigger and better. We'll also have great family entertainment, including a kids area, music, fantastic guest speakers, and food and drink available all throughout the day. But the best part is everything's free. Go to agphd.com to learn more for the Ag PhD Field Day, Thursday, July 27th.
How long is the warranty on your car repair? Hi, this is Matthew Carlson, owner of Fix It Forward Auto Care. Every qualified repair at any of our 3 Fargo, Moorhead, and West Fargo locations is now covered by our extended 5-year, 60,000-mile warranty. Yes, you heard that right. 5 years or 60,000 miles. Peace of mind, just one more reason to choose Fix It Forward Auto Care. Ask your service advisor for details. Fix It Forward Auto Care, the name you trust for car repair.
Fix It Forward Auto Care.
In need of a reliable, durable building for your farm, business, man, or she shed? Look no further than Thor Buildings. At Thor Buildings, they specialize in post-frame construction. They use the highest quality materials to ensure that your building can withstand the toughest conditions. Buildings that are designed with your specific needs in mind and built to last. With their experienced team of designers, engineers, and construction experts, you can trust that your building will be built with the utmost precision and attention to detail. So when it's time to put the hammer down, build with Thor.
Grain markets remain higher on Tuesday. This is the American Ag Network. of Jesse Allen with this market update. We're joined now by Arlen Suderman of StoneX for market analysis. Arlen, grains mostly higher here as we work to midday. Looks like maybe some positioning ahead of Wednesday's WASDE report, and also the Black Sea grain deal issues I think are playing a role here. What are you seeing in grains today?
Well, I think, first of all, we need to look at the fact that we have a little bit of a risk-on attitude on Wall Street today. A little bit better and encouraging ideas about the Chinese economy with some data that came out overnight. Expectations, I think maybe wrongfully so, but expectations on Wall Street, maybe a little optimism that tomorrow's inflation data may come in low enough to allow the Fed to consider a pivot later this year in their monetary tightening. So that's creating a little bit more enthusiasm and freedom of money flow for the equities and for the commodities overall. So we have that background. Then you add to that the strength and anticipated tightness of the soybean balance sheet in tomorrow's USDA crop report following a 4 million acre drop in acreage on June 30th. Now USDA's got to figure out a way to put that on a already tight balance sheet for soybeans. Corn and wheat, looking at a likely cancellation of the grain initiative out of Ukraine, making it difficult to export those two commodities out of Ukraine over the coming months, tightening things up there, looking at crop ratings that are still relatively low from the historical standpoint. Even though they rose yesterday in the weekly USDA report, they're still relatively low overall over the years that we've been keeping track of crop ratings. So just kind of that building support and positive optimism going into tomorrow's report, and then we'll see what USDA does with the numbers tomorrow.
And great thoughts there. Once again, Arlen Suderman with StoneX for market analysis here on the American Ag Network. I'm Jesse Allen.
Pucklet Chevrolet Buick GMC in Valley City makes it easy to find your next Chevrolet Buick GMC or pre-owned vehicle by offering a great selection at our best prices possible.
And And welcome back to Weather and Ag in Focus. Want to thank everybody for joining us. John's going to join us in just a minute. He's on hold here. But wanted to do a quick recap on the weather. If you're heading west on 94, some pretty dense fog being reported right now just to the west of Jamestown. There's some
Fog?
pretty, yeah.
This time of day?
I know.
What?
Yep. So if you're heading just west of Jamestown, there's some moderate rain and fog. The light rain is stretching about as far east as Castleton and just south of Horace, raining lightly now around Wapaton, all this moving to the east-northeast. Again, we're not going to see much rain out of this, but areas around Jamestown up towards Carrington could pick up a quick quarter inch, maybe a little bit more. So we got John on hold. It is Tuesday. Good night. I can only imagine. John, what do you got
Play
for
the
us?
music.
John, what do you have for us?
Well, first, earlier, you mentioned train wreck. And then Dean mentioned Mr. Wonderful, so I thought I better call in. I thought that was my cue.
Oh,
that is your cue.
You got a shirt that says that, John, Mr. Wonderful?
I probably should get one, because, Kevin O'Leary and I we are both full of it some days. So I was wrong on my CD.
You
PDF,
were last week
on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, and I'm admitting this, but now I went back to the table because Dean and I, we text back and forth, and occasionally, we spot the chemtrails in the sky, and I finally figured it out. I had to take a page out of Gary's book on this. It's 51 hours plus or minus after we see the chemtrail that the rain comes. Is there any coincidence there?
That Sunday when was it Sunday we were texting, or was it Saturday?
Yep. And on Friday, I saw the chemtrail, right? Now, the rain did miss us, but there was rain really close by us on Sunday.
See, this is all adding up now. So 51 hours. We're going to have to check
And
with
now I'm
Gary
suspicious about this fog out to the west. I'm wondering if that's like some sort of advanced technique chemtrail we don't know about. Because it's kind of strange for fog, at 1 o'clock on a Tuesday afternoon in the summer.
It is. Well, temperatures are in the 50s out there.
Unless it's cold enough.
That's odd enough. That's odd enough for July. Temperatures in the 50s out to our west.
Well, I think we need the music, and I'm going to go back to working on the mathematics on this. I'm going to see if I can fine-tune this, because there's got to be a correlation here somewhere.
John is such a nice guy, and he understands that I completely blanked out in that entire conversation. Like, sure, whatever you guys are talking about.
Yeah, what she hears when I'm here is Charlie Brown's teacher.
Wah, 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 wah. That's John, thanks for calling. We appreciate it. And we've got about a minute left, so going to recap again. Some moderate rain, occasional pockets of heavier rain from just outside New Rockford down through about Carrington, Jamestown. You're seeing some moderate rain, light rain around Valley City, Lisbon. You got some basically light rain around your area, and then that stretches kind of eastward over towards Wapaton and across the river, almost entering Fergus. Some light rain. So most of it from 94 south is light. Again, if you're heading out west of Valley City through Jamestown, some moderate rain and then some dense fog. Yeah, that is odd for this time of the year.
I am saying.
Yeah, some dense fog just west of Jamestown along with that moderate rainfall out there. So, again, just keep that in mind if you're out on 94 traveling. Other than that, some light showers pressing through towards the valley here over the next hour or so. So I want to thank everybody for joining us here on Weather and Ag in Focus. Jay Thomas Show, it's coming up next.
AM 970.